Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Sangwin, and today I thought I'd discuss a problem facing a game that's been making headlines all over the industry since its announcement at the Game Awards, The Outer Worlds. Alright, first let me take you back to December. The devs over at Obsidian get up on stage at the Game Awards and debut the first trailer for The Outer Worlds, a brand new first-person single-player RPG coming from the developers of Fallout New Vegas, one of the most beloved RPGs of all time, and the original creators of the Fallout franchise. Everyone, including myself, was ecstatic. This was going to be the Fallout New Vegas 2 that we always wanted. Skills, dialogue, companions, silent protagonist, all of the traditional RPG elements were there. And after the disappointment that was Fallout 76, fans were reeling for a real RPG. Naturally, we assumed that this was going to be a AAA open-world production. We were wrong. A couple of days later, Obsidian took to Twitter and shed some light on the new RPG. They made it abundantly clear that The Outer Worlds was not open world and would not have a AAA production budget. Instead, it would have smaller hub areas and would be developed on a much more conservative budget. Subsequently, these reports also brought the price point and length of the game into question, which are still unclear at this point in time. After these reports, I immediately noticed a shift in hype for the game. All of a sudden, the community was polarized. On one hand, you had people who could care less whether the game was open world or not and were still excited for the game. On the other hand, you had people who were suddenly skeptical and kind of turned off by the fact that the game would not be open world or be produced on a AAA budget. I'll admit, at first, I was in the latter group of people, but then I thought about it. Does this game really need an open world and a AAA production budget to be good? The answer is objectively no. Bigger certainly does not always mean better. Take Fallout 76, for example. Fallout 76 is a AAA game that has an absolutely massive open world, but since it's barren and uninteresting, it lessens the game experience. A great example of a game developed on a smaller budget that utilizes hub worlds well is BioShock. BioShock's smaller, more claustrophobic environments allow developers to place a higher emphasis on detail and spend more time polishing the overall experience, all on a smaller budget. Now, BioShock's not an RPG, but you get my point. So why did I and all of the other fans feel this way about The Outer Worlds? If the game objectively did not need an open world or a AAA budget to be an enjoyable quality RPG, why do we think it did? The answer lies with a much deeper problem facing The Outer Worlds, and the root of that problem is Fallout New Vegas. The Outer Worlds is currently living in the shadow of Fallout New Vegas, and that's a problem. The fact of the matter is, these two games are entirely different beasts, and they should be treated as such. But since we, as fans, are still so hung up on how good New Vegas was and still is, we can't help but hope for a spiritual successor that is fundamentally identical to it in every conceivable way. Obsidian's success with New Vegas has regrettably come back to haunt them, even though Obsidian has done everything in its power to temper expectations in terms of both game design and atmosphere. Right now, I think that tonally and environmentally, The Outer Worlds is purposefully trying to separate itself from New Vegas. After all, it's a sci-fi game, not a post-apocalyptic one. I honestly don't think that Obsidian wants The Outer Worlds to be compared to New Vegas or Fallout 3 or even Skyrim for that matter, because they're trying to make it its own thing. Unfortunately, these comparisons are inevitable. But think about it. We've never really seen a first-person sci-fi space western RPG that is tonally light before. I mean, I think a more suitable game to compare The Outer Worlds to tonally would be Borderlands. But in terms of RPG mechanics, it looks to be very comparable to New Vegas. But in terms of aesthetics, tone, and overall feel, the two look to be completely distinct. I think that anyone going into this game with the mindset that it will be a New Vegas sequel is setting it up for failure. Something that's worth noting for these fans is the fact that most of the creative talent behind Fallout New Vegas is no longer even at Obsidian. What these fans need to do is something that is so hard, and that's let go of New Vegas. If you've ever played New Vegas, then you know what I'm talking about. That game will forever hold a place in the hearts of gamers everywhere, but it's time to let it go. Look at The Outer Worlds with a pair of fresh eyes. Be objective and be excited, because frankly, it looks quite good. As I previously mentioned, The Outer Worlds is shaping up to be a promising RPG. Not to mention the gameplay demo looks great. Ultimately, guys, I think that if executed correctly, The Outer Worlds could blow the industry out of the water with its focus on narrative, world building and atmosphere, and real RPG mechanics. But first, the community has to accept it for what it is, a new game. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a like and or a comment if you enjoyed, and I will catch y'all in the next video.